All right, today we're jumping into a really fascinating technique called SNI injection. We're going to break down how a popular tool on GitHub uses this sort of digital disguise to potentially unlock free internet access. So let me ask you this. How can one simple line of text act like a secret key to the entire internet? It sounds kind of out there, right? But that's exactly the puzzle we're going to piece together today. Okay, so to really get how this trick works, we first need to talk about something that a lot of networks have, what you could call the internet's free pass. So what is this free pass? Well, it comes in the form of something called zero-rated websites. These are special sites that your internet service provider, your ISP, basically lets you visit without it chewing up your data plan. This could be anything from a special social media package, maybe a government portal, or even certain educational or health sites. Here's a simple way to think about it. It's like a special VIP lane on the internet highway. It's reserved only for these approved destinations, and your ISP has agreed not to charge you any tolls when you're driving in that lane. Okay, but that brings up a really good question, right? How does your ISP even know which cars or which traffic gets to use that free VIP lane? Well, that's where your traffic's digital ID comes into play. This digital ID has a technical name, Server Name Indication, or SNI for short. It's a fundamental part of how secure connections work. Before anything else really happens, your device uses SNI to basically announce, hey, this is the website I'm trying to get to. But honestly, you can forget all the technical jargon. The absolute easiest way to think about it is this. SNI is the digital ID card for your internet connection. It just says, hi, I'd like to connect to this specific website. So your ISP's firewall, it acts like a bouncer at the gate. It just takes a quick glance at this ID card. If the SNI says you're headed to a zero-rated site, let's say zoom.us, for example, it just waves you right on through into that free VIP lane. No data charges for you. All right, so we've got a gatekeeper checking digital IDs for a free pass. Now we get to the heart of the matter, the core of this whole technique, which I like to call the SNI switcheroo. And this is where it gets really clever. What if you could show that gatekeeper the right ID card to get into the free lane, but then once you're past the gate, you actually go somewhere else entirely? And boom, this is exactly how it works. Look on the left, that's a normal connection. The SNI says google.com. The destination is google.com, and you use your data. Simple. But look at the rights. This is the trick. The SNI, that's your ID card, it shows a zero-rated site like zoom.us. The ISP sees that and says, great, free pass. But your actual destination isn't Zoom at all. It's a secret tunnel that leads to the rest of the internet. So at the end of the day, the entire trick is just to make the connection look like it's going to an approved free site, even when its real destination is somewhere completely different. But just showing a fake ID isn't the whole story. You still need a way to get your actual internet traffic where it needs to go. And this is where we have to talk about building that secret tunnel. So here's how that tunnel gets built conceptually speaking. Step 1, you disguise the connection with that zero-rated SNI. We've got that down. Step 2, you build a secure tunnel, maybe using a protocol like SSH, which is kind of like creating a private encrypted hallway. And then step 3, you route all of your traffic through a proxy server, which is basically just a middleman waiting for you at the other end of that tunnel. So what this all does, effectively, is create a totally private, encrypted pathway for all your real data, and it's hidden completely inside that initial connection that the ISP thinks is free. Okay, so we've been talking a lot about the how. Let's get to the so what. What does this clever trick actually unlock in the real world? Well, this whole process we've been describing, it's all automated by a tool you can find right on GitHub called SNI Injector. It's basically a script that does all the heavy lifting for you, the digital disguise, building the tunnel, the whole shebang. And this isn't some obscure theoretical thing. I mean, look at this. The repository has over 200 stars on GitHub. That tells you people in the developer world are definitely paying attention to this kind of network workaround. And really, the creator of the tool sums it up perfectly in the documentation. The quote says it all. You can use your own secure connection just with a changed SNI, and then use a proxy through that connection to get to the rest of the internet. All right, let's pull this all together one last time. First, ISPs can offer these zero-rated sites for free. Second, SNI is that digital ID card that the ISP checks. Third,
SNI injection is the trick of showing a free ID while you're actually planning to go somewhere else. An SSH tunnel is then used to carry your real traffic through that connection. It's really just a very clever workaround that takes advantage of the way these networks are built.
And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to chew on. How should we look at something like this? Is it a clever hack, a security loophole that needs to be patched up, or is it just an unintended but natural feature of how the internet works? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.